Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the incredible, nearly 70 years story of Europe's biggest club competition. I mean, it went from a simple idea born out of a newspaper boast all the way to the global spectacle we know and love today. This is the story of the UEFA Champions League. Okay, so just look at this. How did we get from what you see on the left to, well, what you see on the right? Back in 1955, you had the European Cup. Simple. 16 champion clubs in a straight knockout tournament playing purely for pride. And now, you've got the Champions League, a massive 36-team commercial giant bringing in billions in revenue. It's a huge transformation, so let's unpack how it all happened. It all kicked off back in the mid-1950s. And the idea for this tournament wasn't dreamt up in some fancy boardroom. Nope, it was sparked by a pretty bold claim from the English press and a brilliant idea from a French journalist who, frankly, had just had enough. Can you believe it? This whole thing started because of one friendly match. So English newspapers declared Wolverhampton Wanderers the champions of the world after a win. And that just did not sit right with Gabriel Hanot, the editor of the French sports paper L'Équipe. He decided it was time to settle it once and for all, with a proper, continent-wide tournament to crown the real champion of Europe. Hanot's idea really took off, and with UEFA's backing, the European Champion Clubs Cup was born. That first edition, in 1955, had 16 national champions in a brutally simple format. It's a straight knockout. You lose, you go home. That's it. And get this, there was no prize money. It was all about the glory of being crowned Europe's best. So this new competition, it quickly became the ultimate prize in club football. And its early history was really defined by these incredible teams who didn't just win it once, they absolutely dominated it for years on end, creating legends that, honestly, still stand to this day. And the very first team to dominate was, of course, Real Madrid. They won the first 5 editions, from 1956 all the way to 1960. Led by the legendary duo of Alfredo Di Stefano and Ferenc Puskás, they set a record for back-to-back titles that remains unbroken. Just incredible. After Real Madrid's amazing run, the trophy started to move around a bit. As you can see here, the early 60s belonged to the brilliant Eusebio and his Benfica side. Then, the Italian giants, AC and Inter Milan, took over with their famously tough defensive style. And finally, British football made its mark, with Celtic's Lisbon Lions winning in '67, followed by Manchester United just a year later. Then, the early 70s brought a tactical revolution. A Dutch team came along that didn't just win, they played a style of football that was unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. It was called total football, a fluid, dynamic system where players were almost interchangeable, and the result was just breathtaking attacking play. That team was Ajax, led by the one and only Johan Cruyff. Their style, which Cruyff himself famously called sexy football, was just unstoppable. They won 3 straight European Cups, and seriously, their influence on how the game is played is still felt all over the world today. And as soon as that Ajax dynasty ended, boom, another one began. A super disciplined and powerful Bayern Munich side, built around the incredible Franz Beckenbauer at the back and the lethal Gerd Müller up front, they immediately did the same thing. 3 in a row. But their success, it was built on rock-solid defense and deadly counterattacks. Now, this chart really shows you what happened next. The late 70s and early 80s were completely dominated by English clubs. I mean, they won an incredible 6 titles in a row. You had Liverpool leading the charge, the amazing underdog story of Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest, and even a triumph for Aston Villa. But this golden era of English dominance, it came to a sudden, horrifying, and truly tragic end at the 1985 final. It was a day that would change the course of European football history forever. The final was at the Heysel Stadium in Brussels. What should have been a celebration of football's finest turned into an absolute disaster before a ball was even kicked, as the growing problem of hooliganism in England spilled onto the biggest stage. Before kickoff, some Liverpool fans charged a neutral section that had Juventus supporters in it. As the Italian fans tried to get away, they were pressed against a concrete retaining wall, which couldn't take the pressure and collapsed. Tragically, 39 people lost their lives. Incredibly, they actually played the match, supposedly to prevent any more rioting, but the aftermath was a huge turning point. UEFA's response was a blanket ban on all English clubs from European competition for 5 years. Liverpool was banned for 6. The era of English dominance was over. and the tragedy would have massive consequences for the future of the competition. You know, the Heysel tragedy and the ban that followed really served as a massive wake-up call. European football had to change. So in 1992, the whole competition got a complete rebrand. The European Cup became the UEFA Champions League. It got a new anthem, a new format with a group stage, which, let's be honest, was there to protect the bigger clubs, and a brand new focus on television revenue and global marketing. Okay, let's jump to the modern era, where that rebrand really unleashed something new. The focus on money and guaranteeing more games for the big clubs, it created the perfect environment for super rich clubs and superstar players to just explode onto a global stage. This right here was the final and maybe the most important step in the whole transformation. By allowing runners-up and later on even third and fourth place teams to get in, the tournament went from a true Cup of Champions to a showcase for Europe's wealthiest and most powerful clubs. And for more than a decade, this new global stage basically became the personal battlefield for two of the greatest players to ever kick a ball. The entire competition was defined by the insane rivalry between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, who just shattered every single record in sight, pushing each other to unbelievable new heights. Man, this era also gave us some of the most unforgettable moments in football history. I mean, think about it. Manchester United's last-second comeback in '99, Zidane's stunning volley in 2002, Liverpool's miracle of Istanbul, Sergio Ramos's heroic header in 2014. The Champions League final became the ultimate stage for pure, unscripted drama. So now, with a new generation of stars like Haaland, Mbappe, and Bellingham lighting up the stage, the competition is not standing still. Not at all. In fact, it's about to go through its most radical change yet. That's right, starting in the 2024-25 season, the format is changing. A lot. The group stage is gone, replaced by a 36-team Swiss model league. In this new system, every team plays 8 matches against 8 different opponents, and the results all go into one single league table. The goal? Create more big games from the start, and, you guessed it, generate even more money. So, from a pure knockout cup born out of nothing but passion and prestige, the competition has turned into a global entertainment machine. Its next chapter promises more football than ever before, but the big question remains. As it gets bigger and richer, what does that mean for the original spirit of finding the one true champion of the beautiful game?